Hey everybody. So I've been looking at some stuff and man, I always get myself into trouble. I got a documentary to work on, but I just can't help it. I was just kind of looking into some things. It's like God kind of stirred me and man, I'm poking on prod around too much, man. I end up having to go live instead of working on this documentary, and I got a lot to do with the documentary. Um so the patient that contracted H5N5 in a Grays Harbor county in Washington state has died from this strain of the bird flu. And you can see, that they're reporting that. Man, and it's like, we could just click on this real quick. A Washington state resident believed to be the first person to be infected with the rare strain of bird flu has died, state health officials announced. The person, an older adult with underlying health conditions, so there was that, was undergoing treatment for H5N5 avian influenza, according to Washington State Department of Health. The person who had been hospitalized in King County since early November died on November 21st. Health officials said, and it's not really getting around like that information. The patient, and that's what I've always said. The things that are mainly talked about a whole lot is probably not the stuff that you really need to be too concerned about, because it's more than likely probably a setup to be able to make conspiracy theorists and things like that look stupid, right? That's a huge agenda. They want to make us look silly. They want to make us look wrong. So that way, when we are trying to call things out, people nobody believes people. You know what I mean? And so, um, yeah, there's that. So, anyways, I went and I dug and did some, or I went and did some digging, and I kind of put some stuff together. Um, Give me a moment. There's all sorts of new pandemic drills they're running. I found out. Give me a moment here. I'm scrolling up. Hold on. So there was in October there was a thing called Exercise Pegasus, which simulated enterovirus EVD68 outbreak from pigs, primarily killing children. They're saying that this was the largest UK pandemic simulation in a decade, involving all major departments. The agenda was testing lockdowns, school closures, ties to respiratory pandemic, and the preparations are framed in for targeting children for vaccine mandates. Like they're saying that there's going to be a virus that is going to hit the children that is going to cause upper respiratory stuff, and literally respiratory failure is what they're talking about. And then in November, this month in 2025, this is ongoing. It's called Operation Outbreak. All right. And in it, there's students that are simulating pandemic scenarios, uh, resulting results in unsettling, highlighting gaps in readiness. They're pushing the youth education on outbreaks. So they're conditioning that next generation for what's coming. In June 2025, they had simulation exercises for Disease X. Then, like I said, in 2022, there was the catastrophic contagion. In 2023 and 2020 to 2024, there was dynamic simulations in the Americas. And catastrophic contagion was fictional pandemic in near future. The World Health Organization advisory meetings on severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome, which is SEERS, which is very similar to the SPARS pandemic I've been telling you about. That's supposed to come in late 2025, targeting children. Again, targeting children. They're saying right now, this is just kind of like the word on the street that it's being cited as the playbook for the 2025 to 2026 coming pandemic. Now, I'm not speaking in absolutes. I'm just putting out there what's out there on the internet, trying to bring you the information because it's my job to look out for all. Um, There's these thing called germ teams, GERM, germ teams, stands for Global Epidemic Response Mobilization for ongoing simulations. And then the dynamic simulations in the Americas are multi-sectoral tabletop exercises in 5 different countries to update national vaccine deployment plans. And it emphasizes rapid vaccine rollout, seen as prepping for mandatory jabs. And remember, in New Zealand, it's legal for them to have a government mandate for vaccines to forcibly jab their their citizens. All right, give me a moment here. And then obviously the SPARS pandemic that was done in 2017. That was way back in 2017, and I can even show you that real quick because I have the PDF pulled up, um, and I have other PDFs I can pull up as well. Give me a second. And in this, just to quickly go through it for people that aren't familiar, my audience is very familiar with this document. But basically, in this, you come to find out that there's people from Minnesota that work at a church that's Baptist, that's very anti, stick it in your arm sort of situation, if you know what I'm saying. And they go over to Asia and come back with a respiratory illness that they call St. Paul acute respiratory syndrome. And then in the next page, I wish I could zoom in on this. Goodness, it's so annoying. But you see how, um, let me try to read it here. As transmission of SPARS was determined to occur via droplet spread, the CDC initially recommended that everyone diligently maintain hand hygiene and frequently disinfect potentially contaminated surfaces. CDC officials further urged anyone with severe flu-like symptoms to seek immediate medical attention. Public health officials were concerned that the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday and Black Friday shopping activities would facilitate the spread of SPARS, but they remained confident that the awareness and prevention messages disseminated annually for severe influenza combined with isolation procedures for suspected cases would be effective at countering the spread of SPARS. These messages were spread via a variety of traditional and social media sources, including Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, and ZapQ. But if you notice these mock posts that the CDC has put up in here, it goes on holiday travel plans, stop SPARS by washing your hands and avoiding public places if you feel sick. And the next one is if you feel it, seek medical attention, use the vampire cough. It's where you cough into your elbow, your inner elbow, and avoid others to prevent the spread of SPARS. Stop SPARS Saturday. Hashtag stop SPARS Saturday. Practice good hygiene, it says, during your Thanksgiving travels. Bring home leftovers, not SPARS. And then it says, Happy Thanksgiving, be safe on Black Friday. If you brave the crowds, wash your hands often. If you feel sick, shop on Cyber Monday instead. And then when we go through this more, I'm just going to read this. Early in the SPARS pandemic, public health and medical professionals were hopeful that the outbreak could be contained through case identification and isolation. It quickly became clear, however, that this strategy was not as effective as initially hoped. And let me mind you, like back here, actually, like they're admitting they knew it was coming and they just are like, we're not going to try to freak people out or nothing like that. And it basically, like, it's almost like a wall has come down, like they're allowing it to happen. But they're just, just because of the annual flu stuff and all that stuff, um, it goes on to say that, that basically, they're not as concerned. They're just kind of hopeful, right? So in this, um, give me a moment here. Challenges in identifying mild cases limited the impact of isolation programs because the initial symptoms of SPARS closely resembled influenza. Many who contracted SPARS did not immediately seek care, assuming they merely had the flu. Fortunately, some who thought they had the flu chose to isolate themselves at home, thereby preventing the spread of SPARS outside their households over the Thanksgiving holiday and Black Friday. However, fewer infected persons remained home, thereby enabling the spread of SPARS beyond the Midwest. Second, SPARS transmission was accelerated by infectious individuals who had not yet become symptomatic. Together, these factors led to significant spikes in the number of reported cases. And listen to this, by mid December, SPARS cases were reported in, oh man, I can't even see that. Like, I think it says 26 states, and the ministries of health in Mexico, Canada, Brazil, Japan, and several European countries had notified the WHO of dozens of imported cases. And this isn't mass spread yet, but it's spreading, right? It's not like a ton of people have it, but it's spreading. Okay. Where was I? So there was widespread concern in public health circles that travel over the Christmas and New Year's holidays would spark a global pandemic. So this document basically outlines that during a Thanksgiving Black Friday situation, which we talked about this last year, and I went through this document with a fine tooth comb after last year. And what I found out was, is I thought that it started in 2024 and the pandemic started in 2025 in this scenario. I was wrong. Okay. And I'm not trying to scare people. God protects you wherever you go. Okay. There's no reason to be fearful or scared. Like, God is in control of every single person's life, especially if you're submitting to Him. Okay. But they're saying in this that it's in 2025 leading into 2026 that this begins to happen, and this scenario was put together in 2017. And then so they're saying that in this document, just kind of giving you a lump, just kind of summing things up, that during Black Friday and Thanksgiving, that there would be a spread of a virus nationally throughout multiple states, and that during the Christmas New Year's time frame, it would spread globally and start to become a global pandemic. So, I mean, that's out there. Now, hold on, give me a moment here. I gotta look some stuff up here. But then also, there's a new exercise that's ongoing in 2025 right now with NATO, called Locked Shields, Locked Shields, Locked Shields. Cyber attack simulations on critical infrastructure during pandemics. All right. So this is something that's new that I'm finding out is that they're wargaming that they're going to have cyber attacks while everybody's locked down. So what if it's the middle of winter and your power goes out, but you're locked down? You can't leave your home. Are you going to just freeze to death? Is that what it is? And then they just come by in the springtime, scoop you up or whatever it is, or send by a germ team like they were talking about. This is a little unsettling because there's so many simulations coinciding together. Exercise Pegasus, Operation Outbreak, simulation exercises for Disease X, catastrophic contagion, dynamic simulations in the Americas, SPARS pandemic, lock shields. It's all starting to form. Okay. Give me a moment here. An exercise Pegasus was a major UK government-led pandemic simulation exercise conducted from September to November in 2025 this year, concluding in October, billed as the largest national pandemic response drill in UK history. It was designed to test and strengthen this country's preparedness for future health crises by simulating a realistic outbreak scenario. It involved activating high-level emergency protocols, including cabinet office briefing rooms, and drew in ministers, all major government departments, devolved administrations like Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and local responders. The primary goal was to evaluate the UK's ability to respond to a pandemic, drawing lessons from COVID-19 and other outbreaks to improve decision-making, coordination, and resilience. It wasn't just about health systems, but broader societal impacts. Key objectives included They wanted to test processes for containing, controlling, or mitigating a pandemic, including how decisions affect inequalities, the economy, communities, and public trust. That's always about public trust, right? Assessing scaling up of central government responses and information sharing across levels, national to local, and handling disinformation, misinformation. There's your censorship right there. There's your censorship right there. And I told you, like, you've seen my channel be censored quite a bit more than what it was, say a half a year ago. I got pretty loose with my talk, and all of a sudden they started to smack me around, and they're like, "Nope, Josh, you get back in line. You get back in line, Josh." Um, they wanted to support local level preparedness, like through workbooks for the 38 local resilience forums, without adding extra burdens to already stretched systems, and also exploring the ripple effects on healthcare, businesses, and civil society. Give me a moment here. And then the simulation revolved around a fictional novel enterovirus called EVD68, originating from pigs on the made up island of Musiyanya in Southeast Asia during a food festival. It spread rapidly via respiratory airborne routes, causing severe symptoms like respiratory failure, brain swelling, and paralysis, primarily in infants, children, and teenagers. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? They're going after the children. They always go after the children, and like I've talked about before, it's that I actually, I'm gonna stray away from that right now. I need to stay on topic. Give me a moment here. So they are saying phase one was the initial outbreak detection, potential travel restrictions as cases hit this Malaysia, Singapore, and beyond. Phase two was the World Health Organization declares a pandemic. UKC school closures, hospital surges, protests over social distancing. Now, I'm telling you right now, there are people in extremist Islam that really don't give a rat's patootie about whether they get sick or not, and they would love to get into a hospital when there's a bunch of sick people, just like they did over in, what was it, the Sudan, or was it Syria, where they slaughtered a whole maternity hospital full of women and children and babies. And then they went back through as people were still moving and pop, 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 took them out. And we've talked about on this channel, and I've showed you proof that they expect within the next 90 days a attack on America where they're going to use first responders, medical personnel, all this stuff, and that they have plans to attack hospitals. So, like, it just is kind of brewing right now and stewing. And it's almost like they've thrown so much into the mix. Oh, I feel the Holy Spirit right now. What are you trying to tell me, Lord? It's almost like they're trying to throw so much out there at once to confuse their enemies, which is us, which is God, which is God's people. So that way we can't, it's a smoke screen. So that way we can't see what they're actually planning. It's like they throw out a huge hodgepodge, cauldron of whatever you will. And then they're just going to all of a sudden, like, one thing is going to stick and it's going to make it happen because I've always told you, they need another lockdown. They need it. They're hungry for it. And again, phase three, it says full national lockdown, closure of non-essential businesses, once again, mandatory masks, and supply chain fears, e.g. food shortages. Okay, right there. So they've been going after the beef, they've been going after the chicken, and with this one, the pigs are the carriers. All right, and I don't know about you, but I like me some jalapeno poppers with some bacon on it. You know what I'm saying? But it says right here, this choice of virus was intentional. Enteroviruses are a real threat linked to like polio-like viruses, but different from COVID, allowing tests of varied responses. Elements like school lockdowns were included, with some no-notice drills piloted in about 20 schools to make it realistic. So they actually went into 20 schools and they did a lockdown in the UK this year. And if anybody is in the UK, please email me at endtimestalk777@gmail.com if you have any information on this that you would like to share. I can keep your identity a secret because I know how bad it is in the UK. All right. But we're getting somewhere here. Let's keep going here. Now, give me a moment. I got to click on some stuff here and try to find what I'm looking for. Okay. And I'm just kind of showing you the receipts because that's what I do. Give me a moment here. So this is the Project Pegasus or Exercise Pegasus up at the top. You see it, NHS England Pandemic Preparedness and Exercise Pegasus, done this year in 2025. And you see what they got going on here. The Pandemic Response Plan. All right. Exercise Pegasus is a tier 1 exercise defined as national level exercise involving ministerial participation in cabinet office briefing rooms and activation, and will take place between September and November 2025. So it's just got done. Its key purpose is to simulate a realistic pandemic scenario and is the first of its kind in nearly a decade. Led by DHSC and UKHSA with participation by government departments and devolved nations. It will assess the UK's pandemic response capabilities more broadly across government. NHS England is a key participant, and NHS systems via LRFs will also actively contribute. Further detail on the exercise objectives and structure are set out at Appendix A. Just about the scenario here. Exercise Pegasus core objectives, exercise decision-making processes for measures to contain control. Contain control, we know what that means. It's called lockdown. Or mitigate the impact of a pandemic, including how relevant priority lessons from previous civil emergency, which they're telling you it's going to be a civil emergency by saying that, exercises and outbreaks of diseases have been embedded. Explore the impact of inequalities and their consideration within pandemic decision making. That was number 2. Number 3, investigate likely impacts of HMG decisions on the health and care system, local responders. There it is, local responders, communities, businesses, civil society, and the general public. Number 4, examine processes for the scaling up of relevant capabilities that would be needed as part of a central government pandemic response. Investigate the effectiveness of coordination, including the exchange of information between different tiers in a UK-wide response. That's called a lockdown. That's a pandemic, UK-wide response. Test the strategic response to disinformation and misinformation. There's your censorship again. Enable and support local exercising of selected capabilities and response issues, which means you're probably going to, throw people in a slammer and lock away the key. Identify and report on relevant areas of learning to improve future pandemic preparedness. Hold on, got to stretch here. Ugh. While the number of objectives is relatively high, it should be noted that they will not all be addressed at the same stage of the exercise. So that's the end of that one. Give me a moment here. This was this the one I was looking for. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one I was looking for. Give me a moment here. Got to make sure. So this is a guidebook that they put out right here. And I mean, this is lengthy. This is lengthy. And this is from 2025, this year. Just got done with this exercise. And in this, you have an avatar that you have to take care of. That's part of the exercise. And you got to keep your avatar alive in this exercise. Oh, look at that. Guidelines for family units and general population. Let's look at this. Every general population participant will be randomly assigned into a family unit. 1 through 4 participants per family unit. Each family is assigned an economic level, which represents the starting wealth of each family. Economic levels are level 1, level 2, level 3. All of the participants, i.e. not general population, will be assigned to work units. The lead facilitator will use a facilitator-only tool called Outbreak Creator. Receive these assignments. Family units are expected to travel together to different locations, such as the store or the bank during the simulation. Dude, this is nasty. Do you hear this? Do you see this? This is some 1984 crap right here. I hope y'all are listening. I hope y'all are listening. There's some side chatting going on. That's all right, but I hope y'all are listening to what I'm saying here because this is nasty. So they're not gonna allow anybody. So what they're saying is basically is that in this scenario, they're only gonna allow 1 to 4 people per family unit, so per household. So if you got more than that lives with you, where are they gonna go? Each family is assigned an economic level, which represents the starting wealth of each family. So, like when this happens, they're going to assess your finances, and then all the other participants, i.e., not general population, will be assigned to work units. So, you're gonna that's slavery. The lead facilitator will use a facilitator only tool called Outbreak Creator to receive these assignments. And then the family units are expected to travel together to different locations, such as the store or the bank during the simulation. Even though it's during the simulation, what if that was in real life? Like you had to move as a family unit. Yep, operate right here. Operation Outbreak, right there. You see it? Right here, right here, right here. Increasing chances of survival. Feed your avatar. So, you got to feed yourself when your avatar is hungry, as indicated in the app. Use tokens to buy food at the store. The mobile app. I mean, they're literally training people. This is they're getting ready for something big, folks. This is some Agenda 2030 crap right here in front of you. If you don't feed your avatar, it will become more susceptible to the pathogen, meaning they will be infected more easily. So they're like, you got to give yourself good nutrition, but they want you to eat the bioengineered food products, right? Because that's going to help. It says get masked and or tested. Visit the store to use your tokens to buy masks and or diagnostic tests. So they're going to bring in a new currency, and that's what the tokens are. They're telling you what they're going to do to you. Visit the healthcare worker station when sick. When your avatar is sick, visit the healthcare worker station to get tested. They'll probably have some tent at one of those roundabouts. They'll probably have some tent, at one of these roundabouts that you're at. I mean, radio face, you got to step up to the plate. Just do it, bro. Don't think about it. If the Lord's already put it on your heart, you've already been given your mission, brother. But so I'm more than likely these units, these worker station, healthcare worker stations will be on like one of these roundabouts that you see here in America. And if anyone in your family unit is sick, accompany them to the healthcare worker station. So you move as a unit, so they can keep track of your household. And then, oh yeah, get vaccinated right there. If a vaccine becomes available, it will be distributed at the healthcare worker station. There's your roundabouts. You won't be able to get to work. This is 15-minute city crap. This is 15-minute city crap. Do you see what's happening? And this was just war gamed this year, just recently. And it tells you how to earn tokens. Correct answers, you get tokens. So you follow the dotted line. This is a digital ID system right here. This is the digital ID system they're putting in place. Yeah, how can they not have a lockdown to implement the digital ID? It's right in our faces, everybody. And everybody's just like, Lottie frickin' da. Living in a van down by the river rolling doobies. All right. It says right here, if you receive a simulation over notification, though the mobile app, your avatar has succumbed to the pathogen. If this happens, please do the following. So that's crazy, man. They're just turning it into a game. Wow. I mean, you're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm sure you're smart enough to see what's going on here. Anybody that's in nursing or nursing homes, or that's a doctor or works with doctors, please contact me at endtimestalk777 at gmail.com and tell me if you're seeing anything, because you guys, you find women and men are the boots on the ground in the healthcare system. And if you guys are hearing it, bring it to me and I'll get it to the people. I'll keep your identity secret. I'll take the heat. I don't care. But if you're hearing something, it's time to speak up and help people, because we need to know what's coming before it happens, so God's people can be ready. I mean, this is insane. This thing's so lengthy. Look at that. Secret envelope. This is literally the turning it into a game for the kids. This is conditioning right here. They want to chop off your children's genitals and breasts and units, and then they want to turn them into subservient, uh, uh, government worshiping, bootlicking, slaves. That's what this looks like to me. That's what the system wants. And I'll be honest with you, nothing's changed under the new administration. Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm trying to scroll through this slowly because if you want to read it, you can go back, you can look at it. Social media wall. Report to the social media station and follow the below steps. A facilitator will be there to assist you. Using the provided paper, pens, and markers, create a school appropriate physical social media post that illustrates, explains your experiences throughout the simulation. The post must include at least one visual and an explanation of fewer than 50 words to be displayed in a designated space, such as a wall or fence. Turn your post into the station facilitator for approval before going on to the next step. So anything you say has to be approved. They'll probably do that. They'll probably have AI run through every single post that you make. And if you even try to make a post that steps out of the line, they'll slap you and they'll hit your social credit system that's coming with this new digital ID system that's being implemented over in Europe. But you think it's not coming to America? Oh, Lord have mercy. Please don't be a fool like that. Don't be a fool like that and think it's not coming to America or Canada or anything like that. I mean, Canada will probably be before America. I mean, like Canada, like you guys are getting screwed up there. Like they have completely they've taken away your guns, they've taken away your Bibles, they've taken away your people that are trying to find natural solutions to fight this kind of stuff that's coming. And that's why they killed the ostriches. That's why they killed the ostriches because they don't want anybody to have anything that's over what their system is coming, because this is all about problem, reaction, solution, and it always ends up in you giving up your freedoms for your safety. I mean, this is the real deal, folks. This is the real deal. Give me a moment. And again, I'll just show you this if you don't believe me. This was done in 2025. Right here. 2025, right here. This is just recent, this year. And you think there's not a pandemic lockdown coming. I've been warning for a year and a half it's coming. They have to have it for Agenda 2030 to be implemented. Nothing else makes sense unless it's like, I'll be honest with you, even the terrorists, like the terror and stuff like that, they would absolutely need way more than what they have. Like it takes manpower to run something like that, and it takes manpower to run martial law. But a lockdown, a pandemic, all they got to do. And okay, the Lord just, ooh, Holy Spirit, give me a moment here. Give me a moment. I'm looking something up here. Oh, it's a lockdown. It's what it is. It's a lockdown. They're simulating a lockdown. Hold on. Oh, we're going to get into this. Oh, we are going to get into this. Hold on. Try to get this information here and bring it on here. Hold on. So again, look at this. It's a lockdown. Look at the vaccines, right? And you got all the robots. Look at all the robots carrying the packages. And look around the outside edge. There's tons of drones with the strings. They're dropping packages. That's deliveries. And look at all the robot dogs, right? Hold on. Let me show you something. And I'm going to show pictures of it. I'm not going to show. Hold on. I got to make sure. Give me a moment. Oh, my stuff's freezing up here. Hold on. I got too many windows open. Okay. So in this new show, they got these robot dogs in this new TV show, The War of the World. And in it, like this, they shoot these spikes out. And they shoot these spikes instead of bullets. And the aliens are using these to police the world. And then if you come back and you add this, and like look down here at the bottom, there's 1, 2, up at the top, at the very top above the boat, there's a robot dog. Down at the bottom, there's a red tank, a third red tank that's in the middle beneath Trump. There's 1, 2 robot dogs right there. Then there's 2 robot, humanoids by the bottom vaccine syringe. This is symbolic of a lockdown. And look at you know what? You want to know what stumped me at first? Oh man. You want to know what stumped me at first is the little location markers. If you look by the vaccine syringe, because I can't show you with the cursor right now. But if you look at the vaccine syringe that's to the right, all right, if you look just up from the soccer player, there's a vaccine syringe. Look at that little location marker right there. If you go directly across to the left, above the red tank on the left, there's another location marker. That's tracking. They're tracking. And then the economy begins to collapse. Hey, no, 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 no. We can't be giving out medical advice. You're gonna get me hit. Please no. Please no. Because I need this to stay up. I'm going through a lot of information here and I'm working hard, taking time out of my day to do this to help keep you guys informed. And just please, no, 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 no. Like moderators, anybody starts to throw, any kind of stuff like that out, I'm going to need you to take it down, please. And thank you, Laura, if you would, sister. And I'm not mad at anybody, but, we got to watch that stuff. If you want to give that sort of information, come over to my X and copy comment on this video over there. Or go over to my Rumble and comment over there. You're more than welcome to give out information, just not on YouTube. YouTube's a tyrant, man. I'm on thin ice with YouTube, man. Thin ice. But these are location markers. And all the little money bills and everything like that, yeah, it's an economic collapse. And World War III. And if you look at the cake, it's the 250-year anniversary of America, and you got the fist pumped up. That's the Antifa fist, or the revolutionary fist, and it's chained with a handcuff to the cake, and it's blocking out the American flag with the fist. That's a lockdown. That's the American people locked up. This is a lockdown. It only makes sense. There's like what I'm kind of seeing is that The Economist is predicting a lockdown. And if we go, hold on 1 second. And again, if we go here, they're running war game scenarios in 2025 for infectious disease exploration without Operation Outbreak simulations. Now, hold on, I'm not done yet. Just taking some stuff out of here real quick. Let me see something here. Hold on. Be patient with me, please. Yeah, there's just not a lot. I mean, there's PDFs, but it's not like it doesn't outline it like, I don't want to just pull something up and have to go through like 5 different PDFs just to be able to show you what information is in it. But Locked Shields is about it's a recent war game scenario where they're saying that a cyber attack is going to take the grid down during a pandemic lockdown. And then, again, the SPARS pandemic scenario that's right in front of us. 2025 to 2028. The fall of 2025 is what they say in this. And specifically, and I showed you Thanksgiving and Black Friday is when they say the spread begins with this. And then it really solidifies during the Christmas, New Year's time frame. And if this is the case, then the next month is going to be pretty rough. And this guy, hold on, this guy in Washington State just died of that H5N5, the first ever H5N5 human contraction. And they said it was from his backyard domestic poultry right here. The patient was from Grays Harbor County, over 100 miles southwest of Seattle, and had a backyard flock. And this is how they start to take your chickens away in the backyard. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. Had a backyard flock of mixed domestic poultry that were exposed to wild birds, according to health officials. State testing identified, because they can't blame it on your flock, because your flock is safe when you take care of it. Everybody that has chickens, this is my solution for it, and this is how you keep them at bay, is that you encage your chickens. You make sure they're encaged, and you put a roof over them, so no fecal matter can drop into the cage from any birds that would land on it or anything like that. It's not like birds just fly up to chickens and start hanging out with them. It doesn't work like that. It's not like a murder of crows is going to come up to a flock of chickens, hen laying chickens, and start to just hang out and talk and party. It doesn't work like that. But this is what basically they're saying, that we're exposed to wild birds. State testing identified avian influenza virus in the backyard flocks environment. There you go. And look, they're already showing you pictures of people masked up and people behind glass. And that's connected. Right here. Reminding you, oh man, this is diabolical. Other people were exposed to the backyard flock environment. The patient were being monitored for symptoms, according to health officials. The person's identity was not released out of respect for the family's privacy. Testing at the University of Washington Virology Lab identified the virus as H5N5, a variant of the influenza A virus, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed the result. Health officials said the patient is the first person in the world to be infected with the H5N5 strain of bird flu. Now, if it got this guy got sick by it, probably, got the jabby. But the thing is that there's other people they're already monitoring for symptoms. So this is something that's not just isolated, it's spreading. I'm so sorry, Dippity Doo. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Just terrible. Jesus, be with the children, Lord. Be with our families. No other people involved have tested positive for avian influenza. The Washington State Department of Health said in a news release on November 21, there is no evidence of transmission of this virus between people. But when it does, you better bet your lily white patootie that they're going to make a big deal out of it. And it's funny, we've seen this time and time again. It starts off small and then it builds over time. And, last year we saw tremendous spikes in pneumococcal pneumonia last year, to the point where they stopped reporting it in October. They'll just shut it down. If it gets too bad, they'll just shut it down, and they won't tell a soul what's going on. They won't. Hey, I'm live right now. Bye-bye. So they won't tell a living soul about it. They'll just shut down the numbers and like nothing's happening. And they'll report it, but they'll never give you how far it was spread. And last year, it spread really far. It spread really far. Hey, Bubba News, good to see you, brother. And so it's a really serious situation that's happening right now. And they're running multiple war game scenarios at the same time in 2025. Okay. This is dangerous stuff, and it goes and plays into the SPARS pandemic, and it plays into the Pegasus exercise Pegasus, and then catastrophic contagion and crimson contagion. I mean, this is multifaceted, multi-layered, and it's all pointing to 2025, 2026, and at least at minimum 2026. And they say before summer. They're saying before summer. Give me a moment here to get back to where I was. They're going to give you their mumbo jumbo about where it comes from. If you want to read that, I'm sure you can go back and pause it. But they're already testing and all that stuff. Who's at risk? What can you do to protect yourself? Oh, go get your vaccine. Go get your vaccine, guys. Eggs and chicken meat are considered safe to eat, they're saying right now. So yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, is that there's a ton of these out there. And this guy in Washington just died from this H5N5. He did have underlying health conditions, yes. But they're saying with this new stuff that it's going to be an upper respiratory virus that's going to go after infants, children, and teenagers. And I have a son too. He's 18 years old, and he has a girlfriend that stays at a college campus, and I worry about him all the time. And then they're saying that there's a, give me a moment here, what's it called? Lock Shields. Hold on, let me find this here. I'm trying to look. And Lock Shields is all about a cyber attack during a pandemic scenario. And so it says here, based on recent pandemic simulations, expert forecasts, and online trends, the next major event appears to be a ramp up in respiratory of zoonotic disease outbreaks, potentially escalating to pandemic levels. This isn't a guaranteed pandemic, but patterns from war games like Pegasus, child-focused enterovirus, and catastrophic contagion, severe epidemic respiratory syndrome, just like SPARS, St. Paul acute respiratory syndrome. It's all about the lungs and the breathing. And that is very indicative of what I've been talking about for so long with, we're going to call it G5. Oh, wow, Sarah. Sarah, could you email me that information at End Times Talk 777 at gmail.com. That's End Times Talk 777 at gmail.com. Susan Stater, I'm not God. I'm so sorry, sister. I wish I could give you an answer, but I got to stay biblical with it. I don't know if Jesus comes before the next pandemic. I know there's a lot of people that would love to tell you that, and I pray that that's the case. But I want to be honest with you, sister. Give me a moment here. Where was I at? I forgot where I was at. Goodness. Okay. So it seems like it's going after the kids and the elderly. It says it points to engineered preparedness for something similar. Think of virus jumping from animals like pigs or birds, once again, or bats, cows, to humans, hitting kids hardest with global spread via travel. Now, I remember my brother Clayton Joseph, whom I have not spoken to in a while, and I need to contact him down in Brazil and see how things are going down there. But he shared a prophetic word with me, and he translated it for me. And this woman was talking about how last year God showed her a prophetic vision of parents putting their infant children and their children out in the streets and running back inside. That she saw a lockdown, and she saw parents leaving their children in the streets because they were worried their children were going to get them sick. And notice how this is all centered around the children. All centered around the children, everybody, with this. And they're saying that global spread via travel trends on that there's trends on the internet that are echoing this. It's trending. This is something that's on the uptick, with users linking drills like what I'm showing you to predictive programming for 2026 resets or bird flu spikes. Mainstream sources like the CDC and Harvard emphasize climate-driven zoonotics as inevitable, not if, but when. This is what the experts are saying. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up. And I mean, we can go into this and I can play video after video after video. Here we go.
So we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
That will get attention this time. I mean, do you listen to this guy? Pompous. And didn't he go meet with Trump just a little bit ago in Washington, D.C. and have dinner with them? I mean, why is I'll be honest with you, Trump, why are you meeting with the enemy, bro? Why are you meeting with the enemy? Why are you meeting with terrorists from Syria and allowing them in the White House and having Epstein list pedophiles like Bill Gates at your crib, bro? Why? What are you doing, bro? And look at this, like, no, I'm not going to show that. But like this, I don't think it's like a mosquito thing. But like, there's even like a video out there. I'm not going to show it because it's a minute long. It's a waste of my minute. But I'll tell you right now, there's a video out there showing how Bill Gates released, and it's from the Gates notes, and they show a Grim Reaper, and it's made out of mosquitoes. But those mosquitoes could also be symbolic of what? Jabby jabby. And then, oh man, dude, there's even predictions that I could show you. But if I showed it on YouTube, I would be shut down immediately. But Rima Lebo has come out and said that they're going to, have a pandemic. She called it the first pandemic, and then she came out and was talking about Agenda 2030 and about how they're going to have another pandemic. And I'm just scared to play those, to be honest with you. I will show you this.
I'm obviously most worried about bird flu. Right now, it takes 5 amino acid change for it to be effectively infecting humans. That's a pretty heavy species barrier. But this virus is already now in 26 mammal species, as you saw most recently, cattle. But in the laboratory, I could make it highly infectious for humans in months because it's been published.
I could make it highly infectious in just a few months. I wonder if they'll start that this month. And this cat over in Washington just snatches up that H5N5 and dies because of it. And then you got Robert Redfield, who was the ex-CDC director, saying that, he's fully convinced that bird flu is the next one. And now that all this stuff, oh man, dude. And you want to know what's crazy? Oh, there's stuff I want to show you, but I'll get hit, man. I'll get hit so fast. But I'll tell you about it. So Donald Trump was on the Saturday Night Live show, and you can go try to find this. Good luck. I got a copy of it. And if I was just on Rumble or X, I'd show it. But he's got this chicken restaurant he's opening up, birds, chickens, right? And then he's got some dancers, and one is like Maya Rudolph. Another one is Keenan Thompson. So that's MK. And the other two guys that are in it their names start with A and S. And so with these 4 people in there, the letter of their first name spells out mask. Mask. And they're just singing some stupid song, doing stupid dances. And you got Trump up there doing his little weird, his weird churn and butter motion he does. I don't know, man. But so the whole goal is Agenda 2030 in 15-minute cities. And I mean, China's already implemented 15-minute cities. That's already going down there. Hold on. And then you got this guy, I forget his name, Peter Hotez. that worked with Anthony Fauci right as we were entering into 2025 came out and said, oh, yeah, the administration is going to have to deal with this, and this. I mean, he named everything under the sun, every virus you could think of. And he's like, yeah, this administration is going to have a bunch of stuff thrown at them. They're telling you what they're going to do. They're literally telling you what they're going to do. I got videos, and people don't believe me. I've showed it before, but right now I'm under the gun right now. I'm under the microscope right now. But I'll tell you now, I got videos where a man in Texas is being forced jabby. And this dude's fighting him, man. And they brought in like 7 or 8 people on this guy. And he's recording the whole entire time. They flip his phone down and they manhandle him until they can get jabby in him. And I'm trying to warn people. I'm sitting here trying to warn people and tell them what's going on. Yeah, so weird. So weird. Hold on one second. Let me type in something here. Checking something real quick before we... Hold on. Oh, isn't this cute? You're gonna have to give me a moment here. Oh yeah, so she begins, huh? All right, I'll show you this. So this is on November 24th, so 2 days ago, 2025. H5 bird flu is widespread in wild birds worldwide and is causing outbreaks in poultry and U.S. dairy cows, again, with sporadic human cases in U.S. dairy and poultry workers. While the current public health risk is low, so they're not saying none, there's no public health risk. CDC is watching the situation carefully and working with states to monitor people with animal exposure. So there's people they are monitoring right now. Just like last time, they were telling us it was these numbers and that numbers. Remember the eye bleeding that was going on last year? You guys remember me showing you that? And right now they got 2 deaths in the U.S. That's interesting, and 71 cases. Huh? They haven't told us that. They haven't told us that. That's new. Right here, you see what's going on. Total cases, dairy herds 1, cattle. Total cases 2, 1, 1, 1, 10 in Colorado, 1 in Wyoming, 12 in Washington. Notice the liberal states. Notice the state, I've been, New York will be next probably, but Texas, because Texas is honestly, it's pretty liberal now with all the Muslims and all the libs coming from California over there. 1 in Louisiana, 38 in California, of course. No, National Food Surveillance data will be updated on the first Friday of every month. Specimens tested that would have detected influenza A, H5, or other novel influenza viruses, 217,871 plus. And human cases, 7 cases detected through national flu surveillance. And that's since February 25 of 2024. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then it dies down. And then once flu season comes back around again, like in 2025, you see, because this is from November 24th, 2025, it starts to flare back up again. And like last year, it flared up from 2023. 2023 was kind of sucky, but we were coming out of the pandemic, but they were like, oh, birds and chickens and blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden in 2024, they're like, oh, no, burn them all down to the ground is what they said. And then now, yeah, no, exactly, Sherry. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Reason to unalive the farm animals. Absolutely. And hence why they went after the ostriches in Canada. And then there's a new place they're talking about killing off a bunch of animals that were part of a sanctuary there in like British Columbia or something like that. But I think it's a situation that we all need to be monitoring closely. I ask anybody who is in the medical field, if you feel brave enough to contact me at endtimestalk777@gmail.com, the same way my name is, but just 777@gmail.com. No, you don't have to underscore nothing, just all one word, endtimestalk777@gmail.com. And tell me what you're hearing on the ground. Tell me what you're hearing at work. I won't give your name out. I won't even give your location out if you don't want to. You don't even have to talk. I will get the information out for you, but give it out to God's people if you have it. If you have it, get it out to God's people. If we're facing something serious here, we have got to stand together and we got to get the information out to the public. This is how we can even swerve and avoid such a thing, because one of the things that I've learned is that when you talk about it, sometimes they don't go through with it because they don't want to be guilty. They don't want to be lynched. Everybody, there's somewhere, somehow, some way the public knows where these people live. And they don't want to get lynched. And in the protocols, it talks about when this thing has gained enough momentum that no cunning can undermine us any longer. So if we're cunning and we're smart, we can undermine their activities and we can delay this thing for the world as long as we stand up together in the mighty name of Jesus. Greater is he that is within us than he that is within the world. And we can bring truth to the table. What if we can put information out there that stops the next pandemic? I remember last year I was reporting on stuff before even Alex Jones was even reporting on it. And I'm watchful. I got you guys' back, but they're preparing something here. They're working hard, and they have been planning it for the end of 2025 and the beginning of 2026. Now, mainstream sources like the CDC and Harvard emphasize climate-driven zoonotics as inevitable, not if but when. All right, simulations recurrently model disease acts, an unknown pathogen with high fatality in vulnerable groups, kids and the elderly. Common scenarios include enteroviruses, e.g. EVD68 from pigs, causing paralysis and respiratory failure. They literally want to shut your lungs down. Or avian flu mutations like the H5N1 or the new H5N5. Buzz ties this to Gates. All right, social media buzzes, they're already talking about it. Warnings of deadlier viruses, with posts speculating on lab leaks or elite orchestration. Economic tie-ins, unemployment spikes blamed on unforeseen crises per traders. All right, give me a moment here. CDC models show COVID, flu, RSV peaks similar to 2024, to 2025, with growth in COVID-19 or growth in 19 U.S. states already. And this is late 2025 to 2026. Social media posts warn of secret drills like the UK school lockdowns, like I showed you. Signaling immediate tests. Forecasters give a 27% odds of a COVID-like event in 10 years. So it's pretty high. That's pretty high. But zoonotics could hit sooner due to climate migration. Climate and migration. COVID Scenario Hub predicts dual surges summer 2025 and winter 2025 to 2026. And there's already people I know getting sick. I mean, Sister Tanya, man, she got hammered. I mean, I've seen her get sick before, but I mean, I was worried, man. I got a hold of Johnny and Linda over there at Ministries, and I'm like, we need to be praying for Sister Tanya. She is going through it. Like, she told me she felt like she was dying. They're saying the SPARS timeline starts in 2025. And then they have these viral prophecies out there, like Japan's this baby Vanga thing. I don't know if y'all have heard about it. Put in the live chat if you've heard about it. You explain it to me. But this probably an anime, manga, whatever artist in Japan, baby Vanga, is basically calling out that there's going to be something that starts in 2025, saying that it claims COVID returns deadlier by 2030, but the trends push 2026 as a major shift. And then I just showed you right here. This is a lockdown. This is pandemic. This is robot delivering your packages. Oh, we got Pujo over there. Get him, Nuki Poo. And so you got drones delivering packages. And then you have the robot dogs policing. And I showed you, hold on. And I showed you how in the newest TV show, War of the Worlds, they use these dogs to police the world. Like, this is literally what they had in there. War of the Worlds, quadruped aliens. They've been doing this for a while. They've been planning this. These things are fast, they're accurate, and they're deadly. And they even have flamethrower ones. They could bring these in and torch down a whole area with nobody ever even losing their life. And I'll tell you right now, if you think you can just go chitty chitty bang bang and take these out, these things are armored to the teeth. But there is videos out on Twitter X that teach you how to do it if you need to. All right. Hold on one second. But it's all right here. The Economist. And it's a periodical for the elite. And The Economist has been known to make predictions with their artwork that have been known to come to pass in the past. Hold on a second. I'm going to look at this here. Give me a moment. If you spot any birds in this, I mean, I feel like I'm looking at a Where's Waldo here. You guys remember Where's Waldo? Those things were cool. But so then you have like directed energy weapons. You have the drones with strings attached, dropping packages. You got robot dogs policing. There's 1, 2, 3 robot dogs. There's 2 robot humanoids. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's another robot dog. So there's 4 robot dogs. Oh, there's another robot behind. And then there's bombs dropping. I mean, this is insane. And then there's 2 vaccines. I mean, this is... And then the whole idea of the American fist of resistance, those who resist will be locked down or handcuffed, put away. I mean, what's the biggest symbol right here? It's the cake and the hand with the handcuff and the American flag. Out of all of this, that's what is meant to stand out the most. And I'm telling you, and I've had YouTubers argue with me over this. I mean, tooth and nail. The Illuminati have to tell you what they're going to do to you, because in their satanic religion, they believe that if they don't tell you what they're going to do to you, and they do it, that they can get, and this is what they believe. This isn't what I believe. They believe they get kind of a karma blowback from it. I don't believe in karma, but they do. And so, oh, hey, puppy. Hi. And so they get like a karma blowback from it. And so they put it on the dollar bills. They put it on the monies. They put it in the movies. They put it in the TV. They put it on the music. They put it on the artwork. They put it everywhere, right in your face. Not only does it condition you to accept it, and it normalizes it, and we have got to get rid of our normalcy bias world. We have got to. Nothing's normal anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore if you haven't figured that out yet. And it seems like all this stuff is brewing. And they're running, and I counted, what was it? There's like 8 different scenarios for pandemics that they're running right now that are active. That's sketchy. This is all sketchy. And I pray to God nothing happens in the mighty name of Jesus. But I'll tell you right now, this is sketch. It'd be nice to avoid all this, wouldn't it? To swerve it. And then on top of that, you got the tanks and you got all the military equipment. You got Vladimir Zelensky. And there are some people that said that this guy's BB, but I honestly think this guy is George Soros. There's no real way to tell, honestly. But I think it's George Soros, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin. You got Donald Trump. And I don't know who this guy is, but you definitely got Pam Bondi, or it's the leader of Italy. That one woman, I forget her name. Who's the leader of Italy? So, yeah. Oh, and then look off of the distance. They got some flames. So there's going to be more burnings, more neighborhoods burning, probably. And then the idea of the Neuralink being able to help people play video games. Wait for that to come out. That's probably already happening. They just haven't released it to the public yet. And then all over, here's another thing that lets me know it's medical. All over this whole entire picture, there's little pills, black and blue, blue and red, white and blue, white and white, all these little pills all over the place. That's medication. You take medication when you're sick. Then you got the vaccines. And then you definitely got this robot delivering a package at the very bottom left. Then there's a robot between the syringe and the missile that's off in the distance. Then there's another robot right next to the other side of the missile. Robot dogs. I count 5 robot dogs now. And I think it's 6 drones. We are in it, people. We are in it. I think, let's see here. So this is what I've cooked up, is that they're saying in 2026, COVID Scenario Hub predicts dual surges from the fall of 2025 and winter 2025 to 2026. SPAR's timeline starts in 2025. Again, the Japan's Baba Vanga is predicting and claiming that COVID returns deadlier by 2030. Remember, it's always by 2030. It's not on 2030. It will happen before. And social media trends push 2026 as a major shift. And this is all trend stuff. This is analytical trend stuff right here that I'm reading to you. Experts say that within the next year or two, this could be happening. But simulations align with near term. Optimally 2026 scenario from lessons learned. So this upcoming year. Politically incorrect angle, if orchestrated, it coincides with economic resets, debt crises, post-Modi Trump policies, and these are just from different trends that are happening across the internet. Because a lot of what the elite are doing is they go by the trends that are on the internet to decide what they're going to do and how they're going to do it and when they're going to pull the trigger. And so with these different angles here, like a respiratory surge, the CDC-RT trends COVID hub models with a high 80% probability and timeline for the end of 2025. And it's funny, the CDC ain't telling you that, is they? All right. New zoonotic jump. So your H5N5 more than likely, or just a continued H5N1 or disease X simulates disease X simulations and bird flu cases. They're saying has a 50-50 chance right now for early 2026. And that means January, February, the middle of winter. And then engineered crisis, like people with talking about Gates and just conspiracies in general. It's relatively low, like 30%, but that's still really high, that are tied to 2026 geopolitics. The unifying thread across 2025 simulations like Pegasus, Polaris, and Disease X is transforming preparedness, emphasizing international equity, aka vaccine sharing, rapid response, 100-day missions, and combating infodemics. Oh, that's new. Infodemics. What's that? Misinfo. Modeling themes include data sharing, public trust, and centralization. Framed in conspiracies as the New World Order tools for lockdowns and digital IDs. Hold on, let me click this here. Give me a moment. Goodness, this is long. Holy smokes. Yeah, I'm going to have to go through that later. Give me a moment. Substantiated by GPMB, post-COVID focus on AI, One Health, animal-human links, and addressing inequalities amplified by crises. Social media posts connect this to child targeting. Drills terrifying kids over in the UK because they stormed 20 schools in the UK. 20 schools they stormed this year. And economical fallout, which you're seeing that on the picture I'm showing you right now, right in the middle. X marks the spot, and X is also platform. And then you got the pennies sitting there because they're getting rid of the pennies. And everybody thinks I'm gonna have digital currency and I'm gonna get rich. It says they heap together treasure for the end of days. You can't do that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, when you got 30% of the world that's become millionaires overnight, when it all drops out, it ain't gonna mean nothing. It's gonna be right back to square one. Your milk will cost $1,500 per gallon at that point. Hey, Keegan Fernandez, good to see you. Yeah, absolutely, Keegan Fernandez. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. It's good to see you here, brother. And so the bottom line is that's about building muscle memory for control, whether benevolent or not. And I think that this is all malevolent. And you better, and they're saying, and this is what it all is saying, with the trends across the internet. So this is where everything is beginning to shift towards. And I know for a fact the Illuminati, the powers that be, they control the trends. And that's why they can put the trends out on a soccer ball. And I really think right after the World Cup, everything's going to kick off, because that's what it is. And I've shown you video. I got hit last time with it. They took me down. Yeah, they absolutely took the video down. And, all I tried to show you was the links between like the Tomorrow War and the beginning of that. They're in the World Cup. And then there's a portal that opens up, but the main premise is that there's an explosion and that there's terrorists that come out onto the field, supposedly. Like, that's the way they portray it, but really they're like people from the future, but they're all blocked out. And everybody's been seeing these guys in their dreams. The blocked soldiers. I could tell you the dream that I had about them, and they were forcibly injecting what is in this picture. The jabby. They were literally going around enforcing that on people. And I saw war in the metro cities, the bigger cities, and everything was just bullet holes riddled everywhere. You know how like when bullets will hit a cement wall, they'll take a chip out, and like you go over to like Iraq or something, you look at a wall and it's like across it. That's what like everything looked like. And I saw tactical blacked out or black blocked troops, and I knew in my spirit in the dream that they were foreign troops. They weren't American. And then there was the local police departments, the sheriff's department, the state police that actually formed units to combat this because the military never showed up. And what I saw was them succumbing to the attacks. And I'll be honest with you, this all comes back to full circle with, and again, look at the satellites on this image projecting on the very bottom. There's a satellite projecting a frequency. At the very top, there's a satellite projecting a frequency. I think that's very indicative, we're going to say, of G5. Hey, General, if you want to email me at endtimestalk777@gmail.com, I'll pray for you over there, buddy. We can talk, man. All right? All right? We can talk over there. Because I'm trying to stay on subject, but I pray in Jesus' name that everything works out for you, brother. And God bless you. God bless you. But I'll say G5, but I'll reverse. You got to reverse the number and the letter there. But G5, I mean, during that rollout is at the beginning of the pandemic. Go look up frequency radiation. Go look it up. I get hit with this stuff all the time. I mean, I accidentally ruined my Christmas present this year for my wife. She got me Faraday material to make me a tent that I can lay in. And I was like, man, maybe I need to just get some Faraday material and lay in it because I'm getting hit all the time. She sees the pain I go through behind the scenes. You guys don't know the half of it. Like, she's like, oh, you just ruined your Christmas present. And I'm like, what? And I feel real bad. I do. Like, I feel terrible, but I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. And it's a project that me and her could do together. Even better. But I mean, I have a Faraday hood, I have a Faraday shirt, I have a Faraday hat, and then my lovely missus that knows me all so well and knows what kind of gift I like. I choose the conspiracy, Faraday stuff because we're under attack with these frequencies. And I'll tell you, if you look up frequency radiation, your street lights, and the thing is that you go and you look at the cell phone towers. Those cell phone towers are not owned by the cell phone companies. They're owned by the government, and the cell phone companies lease the slot on the tower. And they're cranking up the heat. And I have proven to everybody over and over and over again that 6G is fully operational right now, but it won't be available to you until the year 2030. And they're already working on 7G right now. Already working on 7G right now. And then all of a sudden, yeah, absolutely, General. Love you, brother. And so they're already working on 7G. They have already rolled out 6G, but it ain't in your hands yet because the military industrial complex is always going to be a step ahead of you. They will always be a step ahead of you. You're never going to be up to date with what's really going on behind the scenes. They always want to seem like Star Wars. They even have paint, too, that you can get. There's paint that you can get that blocks 5G. And stuff like that. But you have got to start protecting yourself and doing what you can now, even if it's with aluminum foil. Yeah, I said it. Tinfoil hat. And all these towers across the board can be upgraded. Every single one of them. They all can be upgraded. And then that makes way for 6G, 7G, 8G, 9G, 10G. But I don't think it'll get that far before the end. We're so close to it. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, Keegan, was the Pegasus exercise. And I showed the document and everything. Yep, there's been a whole bunch of new ones. Hold on, let me pull it back up here. So they got Exercise Pegasus 2025, Operation Outbreak. Keegan, have you heard of Operation Outbreak? That's ongoing right now. Then you have the simulation for Disease X that was in June 2025. Then you have Catastrophic Contagion that was in 2022, but they've kind of visited it in 2025. Again, that's Johns Hopkins Center for Disease Security and WHO and the Gates Foundation. Then you have dynamic simulations in the Americas that was done from 2023 to 2024, and that's WHO. And then again, the SPARS pandemic document that I've shown a million times. And then the ongoing war game known as Locked Shields. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't that the lead paint was, ruining your brain. It's that they didn't want you to be protected. They wanted you to be wide open, susceptible to what is coming. And I truly believe that this might not even be a real that has everything to do with G5 or now G6. And then as soon as they kick 6G, like, all right, I'll show you. All right, we'll go down the rabbit hole together. Let's do this because you know what? We bring it to the bank and we bring the receipts. Hold on. Give me a moment because they want to beat around the bush. They want to beat around the bush. And so it's really hard. You got to really dig into this to find it. Hold on. Pulling some stuff up here. Give me a moment. Hold on. And this isn't just Japan. Like, this is what they're coming out with now, right? So hold on. Yeah, and this proves that they have it. This proves that they have it. And it's not just, hold on. I got to build this up. Just give me a moment here. Please be patient with me. Don't go nowhere. You're going to want to see this. You're going to want to see this. Wow, dude, you would not believe this. Hold on. And it all starts with Japan. Little island of Japan. That's where it starts. This is how it happens. Oh, dude. This is new. This is new. All right, here we go. We're going to build up to the big enchilada that I just found. Hold on. All right, here we go. It is on the way, Keegan. That's exactly what's going on. They need it for Agenda 2030. It's all about Agenda 2030. And to get us there, they have to have us this fully operational by 2030. And then they'll release 6G to the public then. But check this out. So watch this. All right, give me a moment here. Japan smashes internet speed record. The breakthrough could underpin future AI networking 6G infrastructure and faster cloud services using existing fiber technology. Right here, 6G. It's all possible. Right? Now, I'm going to keep going here. Hold on. Give me a moment. Then you have Japan unveils world's first 6G device. If they got the device, they have 6G. Think. All right? Think. And that was last year. We're light years ahead of it now. And I'll prove it to you. Give me a moment. And no wonder people are already suddenly, keeling over again. And just like in the White House, that dude collapses and, Kennedy looks at him and just walks away. And he's probably thinking in his head, friggin' idiot. Hold on. Right here, again, Japan sets new internet speed record. It's 4 million times faster than average U.S. broadband speeds. They already have it. They already have it. It is already fully operational right now. And this was, again, this is July 14th of 2025 when this was written. It is fully operational now. I'm telling you. And it's not just Japan, because I've seen other stuff proving it. Hold on. I'm coming to a big enchilada here. You're going to be like, wow. And well, listen to me, everybody. This is why I've been talking about Faraday technology for so long, trying to get people into this, because it's the only thing that's going to keep you safe from what's coming. There are celebrities that are coming out with Faraday urban clothing lines because it's going to be the new norm. You're going to have to wear this stuff to be able to exist in what's coming. I'm warning everybody. I've been warning everybody from the very beginning. This whole entire channel, the whole entire time, I'm mocked, I'm scorned, I'm attacked for ever standing up for the truth, ever, against any platform, against any person. All I've ever do is try to bring people the facts, the receipts, and the truth, and then I get maligned because of it. Smart, fast, resilient, Japan's vision for 6G and beyond, May 2025. They're doing it. It's happening. Now, check this out. This is the big enchilada right here. You ready for it? Boom. 7G. Countries using 7G network technology today. I just found this. And this was written 3 years ago. I didn't even see this. We're past 6G now, people. Globally, the 7G network provides a faster means of communication. A 7G network is the quickest way to make a call, whether it is local or international. Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, or 7G requires access to all local and international telecommunications. Additionally, all of its clients trust the 7G network since it gives them access to a quicker than ever medium and offers security while sending crucial business ideas. This isn't for the public. It's not for you. You don't get to enjoy the love. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. But the elites do. All right. Right here. I mean, they're building up to this. It's right here. It's right in your face. This is where we're at, folks. What the inevitable advanced cellular technology that will be the successor for 5G and 6G, 7G will be able to satisfy the requirements of extremely high bandwidth because it's called data center AI. They are literally making it possible for AI to be able to read microwaves brain waves from your brain without you even having a device on you. Can anybody say Internet of Bodies? Can anybody ever say collective hive mind? A hive mindset. This is what it is right here. 7G, you will be the antenna. Mark my words, you will be the antenna. And all I've ever do is try to warn people. Right there, 2030 at the earliest. Yes, but today there are a handful of countries that currently use the fastest medium of communication available, achieving levels of speed and low latency equivalent to those of 7G network connectivity or even 8G right there. Look how far we've come. Light years ahead of 5G, and all you get is 5. And they're already literally admitting that they're on 8. They're literally admitting they're on 8. 52.6 megabytes per second. In Norway, the Netherlands, South Korea. The Netherlands is the second nation that offers fast internet service after Norway, although we cannot claim that the network is 7G or 8G. Whatever. It is, though. It is. They lie to us. But they're literally talking about they're even using 8G now. And we are in the Stone Age still. We're in the Stone Age, everybody. And you wonder why we're all getting hit and I'm having anxiety and all this stuff. And anybody that's stepping up to the plate and fighting against this stuff like I am, because I don't just fight for the kids. I fight for God's people too, you know? There's a reason my mama named me Joshua. Straight up. And she told me, I named you after Joshua, the warrior in the Bible, who fought the Battle of Jericho, who took the people into the land of Canaan to wage war against the enemy. And man, it's insane. I just, because of a subscriber, a fellow brother that got me the Ethernet cable, finally, I don't have to run off 5G anymore. I still had it plugged in because I thought you needed it plugged in. I finally figured out you don't even need it plugged in. And it's safer for you to have a hard line into your computer, your laptop, or whatever. So this is where we're at, everybody. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to prepare you for what's to come, what's already happening, and all the war game scenarios that they're doing right now, leading us to a global pandemic. And I'll be honest with you. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think it has anything to do with the virus at all. I think it has everything to do with that we're almost at 8, or we're already on 8G now. We're getting hammered. Your depression, your anxiety, your sicknesses, your pain, your suffering. Go look up the symptoms of frequency radiation. Go look it up. It's right in your face. I think it's right there. Simple as and as plainly as can be. I think I've said enough. May God bless you all. May he keep you in these last days. All right? Because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. You know what? I'm not going to end it just yet. I want to pray. I want to pray for God's people. Dear Jesus, Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, we come to you right now and we just lift everybody up here before you, Lord. We just thank you for your mercy, for your grace, for your protection. Thank you for being our strength. Thank you for dwelling within us. Thank you for your Holy Spirit and your precious blood, Lord, that you shed on the cross. We thank you for our salvation, for our freedom in you. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. We pray for your Spirit to surround your people in Jesus' mighty name. Protect them from frequencies, from sickness, Lord, in Jesus' mighty name. Protect their children especially, Lord. Protect their homes, protect their vehicles, protect their workplace. And just pray for breakthrough, Lord. Miraculous breakthrough, restoration in God's people. As the rest of the world falls apart, God's people get stronger. Thank you so much, Jesus. Thank you so much, Jesus, for your protection. And I just ask you to be with everybody today. Bless them, Lord. Bless the socks off them. Help them. And give them a peace that surpasses all understanding that can only come from heaven above. We give you all the glory, the honor, and the praise, Jesus, for everything that you're doing. You always keep us ahead of the game. Amen and amen. May God bless you all. May he keep you. And please don't forget to go out and change this world in which you live.